This corner segment continues with head football coach Matt Griffith, the Sylacauga Aggies, and coach, a valiant effort by the Aggie football team last week, but just too many mistakes.
Yeah, we showed our youth. I mean, there's no doubt we really showed how many young kids we're actually playing on the offensive side of the football. But you know what? That's no excuse. I mean, we've got a 17-10 lead going into the fourth quarter. I think both teams were very hard-nosed. They're very well coached defensively and offensively, and we've got the lead. We've got to make some plays. They tied it up 17-17, and we're fixing to get the ball back, and just too many turnovers. I say it all the time, and I know they're cliches, but the team that makes the less mistakes when you're evenly matched is going to win that ball game. And we made some mistakes right there at the end, and they beat us by a touchdown. And hats off to them. They're well coached, well disciplined team. We think we're well coached and a well disciplined team, and we just came up short.
Yeah, one of those plays that has been highlighted this week is the muff punt, and just a mistake. A lot of people around the football, and you're making split-second decisions. Sometimes it's not the right decision.
Well, it should never come down to that. That single play does not lose a ball game. That is a kid that he was trying to make a play and make something big happen. We preach that to him all the time. It wasn't a good decision, and he's learned from that mistake. But that in itself doesn't lose a ball game. There were plenty of mistakes across the board with a bunch of other kids, and I don't want to single out that kid at all because it's the same kid that picks up a kickoff and runs it back and beats Springville.
Right.
So I think people have a tendency to forget that. We always want to remember what a kid does bad, but we don't want to remember what a kid does good. So there were plenty of mistakes all around.
Very physical football game.
Yeah, physical, and I'm going to tell you, I keep talking about youth, big game with big ramifications, and our young kids showed. And I think in the next year or two, our people will see that those same kids that are making mistakes in a big ball game will be winning the big ball games just because they played at such a young age.
You had talked about in previous weeks that you wanted to throw the football a little bit more. Well, your young quarterback at times threw the football well.
He's got potential to be really good throwing the football. Right now, we're trying to stay so conservative, even throwing it. Everything is a short passing game to give him some confidence. They're easy reads. What you don't want to do is just throw the whole kitchen sink at him and then throw a lot of interceptions. I think he threw a post route that was a very good ball to score before halftime, and he's getting better, and he's going to continue to get better as he's immersed in offense and he learns what's going on.
Well, Coach Matt Griffith, the head football coach and athletic director at Sylacauga High School, you were wearing another hat in the pregame on Friday night.
Sure was. That was a little different for us. I wore a hat of a parent for a change, in that my little girl was she was one of the candidates for Miss SHS, and we're very proud that her the club that sponsored her thought enough of her, and it was a little different. Of course, Coach Richardson was doing the same thing, and Brindley won, and that's fantastic. And I thought it was important. It's probably the first pregame I've ever missed, and but there comes a time when the parent has to be first, just a little bit for her, and the coaches, we've been around a long time. Our staff's been together a long time. They know how to handle pregame and get the kids ready, but I was very proud to be able to escort her.
24-17 Clay Central over Sylacauga on Friday night, and you talked about that game was so critical in the posturing for a playoff spot in the region. So where do we stand tonight as we head to Tallahassee?
Well, where we stood that night, if we had beat Clay, we needed Tallahassee. We really thought Tallahassee would beat Beauregard. Well, it didn't happen anyway. So, I don't know if we would have been second or not, but I tell you what would have been, we would have been set up to still play for a region championship. Right now, the way the whole is going is that if we beat Tallahassee tonight, we will be third, and we'll be playing at Charles Henderson in Troy. If we lose tonight, we're still fourth, we're still in the playoffs, and we'll be playing at Greenville in Greenville, Alabama.
Tough chore anyway you look at.
Yeah, they're two good teams. They are, and we're a little hamstrung. It's game 9. We're banged up. We found out about 4 days ago that Alex Thompson is going to need knee surgery. It's a slight tear in his meniscus that he's been playing with. But we want to go ahead, instead of him continuing to play on that leg, we've advised him to go ahead, and it's a very short surgery. It's a quick recovery. It's about 3 or 4 weeks, and he will be back. But we felt for his future, we wanted to go ahead and get the knee fixed.
But that's a nice chunk of your offense right there.
Yeah, it is. It is. But you know what? We preach to our kids all the time. When we're repping you, you were one play away from being the starter. You've got to be ready. So, Alex is probably going to be done for the year. We've lost Vince White. Vince White has also a slight meniscus tear, who swaps in and out at defensive tackle. Devin Smith's our starting left tackle. He is 50-50 about going this Friday night. He hurt his knee on Tuesday. He hyperextended it. We don't think it's anything serious, but we may hold him out against this game tonight. So, you're going into a game but it's typical this late in the year when you don't have a lot of depth, you start to get banged up. I mean, we're a physical team. We're playing physical teams. And, you're going to have some injuries.
And Tallis is not an easy place to play a football game either.
No, it's not. They've got a great running back. He's as good as I've seen in a long time. He's a lot of fun to watch on film. He's very fast, very hard-nosed. I know the head coach very well. I told a story to the staff the other day. When I was playing at Jacksonville State, my best friend in college and I used to sneak out to watch this head coach play high school ball because my best friend, that was his head coach's son. So, this is Big Mike Battles' boy that is from Sylacauga. And I used to sneak out and watch Mike play at Wellborn on Thursdays and Friday nights when he was in high school. So we've known each other a long time. There's a lot of mutual respect there. They'll be well coached. They'll do a good job, and it's a tough place to play.
With the difficult loss behind you now against Clay of Central Clay County last Friday night, has it been a concern of yours this week that, hey, we got to get these kids back?
Sure. I mean, and that's a great question. You have to tell kids, what are they playing for? We've tried to sell them all week that we've looked at the brackets all the way across the state. To be third in our region, you're going to play somebody's 2s or 3s all the way to the quarterfinals. That's an easier road to get out of the first and second round than it would be to be 4th or even 1, because eventually by round 2 or round 3, you're playing somebody's 1. We didn't think we were going to have to if we're third. So, and they're playing for pride. I mean, they're playing to represent Sylacauga. They're playing, to represent their families. And we've had a good week of practice. Even though the kids know we have these injuries, other kids have stepped up. They've had good practices. But, you're going into a ball game with a running back that has not carried the ball one time all year. And I've got a freshman backing him up that we're going to play a little bit this year that has been just terrorizing B-team games. But B-team and Friday night's 2 different things. So we'll see how he does under the lights tonight.
I guess I could say that's why you make the big bucks.
Absolutely. Well, and I tell you, if you look back 10 years when I took this job, there wasn't a gray hair on his head. And it went gray real quick. But I tell you, it's been fun to coach those kids this week, knowing that they have stepped it up, knowing they usually don't get to play. They've got a huge opportunity to play. And look, one of these freshman guys, you're going to see he'll be a starter next year. So we've really taken our time with him, knowing this is a great opportunity. This is like a great opportunity for him to get on Friday nights, even for next year. Yeah. So you've always got to plan in stages. It's always got to be that way. And we're playing him a little too quick, but that's part of it.
Well, there was a huge crowd at the stadium last Friday night. You can't say enough about the support that the Aggie football team garners. And
winning helps that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, good luck tonight as you travel to Tallahassee, and big matchup for the Aggies. And, of course, short week after that as you get set for B.B. Comer on a Thursday night. And we'll visit with Coach Griffith next Thursday morning here on Daybreak to talk about that. But, Coach, good luck tonight and have a safe trip and bring back a W.
All right, thank you very much. Thanks for having me.